George being suspended by the Dallas Cowboys.
Look.
So it was a fake news thing.
Oh, it's fake news?
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's from one of them.
Oh,
Buddhist
okay,
sites,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I ain't heard anything about it being there. All right, now I got to redo my take anyway. All right, you ready? All right, here we go. Like I was saying. Here we go. All right.
Wanna f just like me. Fitted cap rockin' so low I can't see. 4X heavy hustle, black tall tee. So sick.
What up, what up, what is up, folks? Episode 5, man. It's about to go down. This is the Backyard Ballers Fantasy Football Podcast, man. And it is your boy, co-kicking it in here live. Once again, my friend, it is your boy, Dimitri, and I'm kicking it with...
It's your boy, Ant Cam, the handy man.
Man, and look, hey, draft session has been in full effect. Draft days are almost behind us, and by the time you see this, it's going to be kickoff time. That's right. Put everything else to bed. It's time to start coaching that football team. Ant Cam, it has been adventurous. An adventurous preseason for me, for sure, man. I must be a glutton for punishment because I have agreed to jump into my 7th fantasy football league. So it's been a real busy schedule. Still got 2 drafts left. And by the time you see this, those drafts will be over. But so far, man, it's been going pretty good during draft season. I've been satisfied with the way that things have been going down with my teams. I feel like I still got it, man. I feel like I'm competitive right now. But I got to make sure that these next 2 teams end up being just as strong, man. If you missed the last episode, the Backyard Ballers got down with our draft class, or the owners of the Backyard Ballers Fantasy Football League did a live draft. We hope you did check it out. We had fun doing that. It was exciting. It was good to have everybody on there. Well, as many people that could make it. I think we had about 6.
That's
6,
a good number.
yeah, 6 of the 10 could actually make it. Some people tried to make it. They couldn't get that audio video thing going on. The guru was halfway there, man. He was in there playing Madden and doing this drafting at the same time.
Draft Madden and live chat?
He was trying to. Hey, but the crazy thing... Hey, the funny thing about that is, though, when we looked at the report cards, that goofball ended up with, like, the second best the second best draft class in there.
Guru, baby.
So, you know, I really can't front on him, you know. He did his thing his own kind of way.
He said there's a method to the madness.
Well, I tell you what, it is definitely madness. I tell you that for sure, man. But yeah, but overall, I'm trying to think back. What I drafted in that league, I want to say I drafted 5th in that league. That was tough for me because, you know, I like to draft on the ends. My Gridiron Geeks league, I drafted like 8th. Mm-hmm. I got an 8th spot tomorrow. I got like the 9th spot the day after that. And then 2 other leagues, I drafted 10th. And in those leagues, it was 10 out of 12. So I did my thing on the back end of the drafts, man. I did some real cool stuff with my boy Art. We'll get into that in the second segment. Since he did talk about those auctions, man, I agreed to do an auction draft with him. And I can give you the lowdown on that in a minute, man. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with what I did. I got a lot of good high grades. I ranked highest amongst all the grades. You know, ESPN, you got to be careful with that ESPN on how it does it, because it will give you a good grade. But the truth, or the thing that I question all the time is it giving me a good grade because I did something genius, or is it giving me a good grade because I just did what they thought I should do? Because I know Bucci Bag in one league, or in our league, in the Backyard Balls League, she ended up getting the best grade out of everybody in there. I want to say I got like the 2nd best grade in that one. But she was on auto draft because she couldn't make it. She had to work. So it makes me question, like, hey, did I just do something that was very consistent with what ESPN wanted me to do? Or was I just player made with my picks? I feel like I was player made with my picks, man. You know how I get down. I like to study in advance. I mean, I ain't lying, though. I mean, you got to have confidence in your guys, man.
Does it seem like it's becoming a job? 7 leagues, that's a lot of preparation and stuff.
It can seem that way. I think the thing that has saved me most of the time has been being in a similar spot in the draft, so you don't have to do a whole bunch of different preps. What I do like about it, to be honest, man, like draft day is really one of the funnest days because you get to build that team, and it's all about doing all the cool stuff you can to get the people that you want. And in a lot of cases, I'm not going to say that I got everybody that I wanted. I ended up getting people that were good fits based on the circumstances, because you always gotta adapt. So I do enjoy that part of it. I think it becomes more of a job when you got to keep up with all the rosters throughout the year, setting all the rosters for the games. You know, the problem I have in combination with what we do right here is I will spend a lot of time working on the podcast and not nearly as much time working on
roster.
the roster and going through the waiver wire and paying attention to that stuff. So, and I know it sounds a little bit contradictory, but the stuff you got to put into a podcast production, does get pretty involved. So I just got to make sure that I make time and use my resources accordingly, man. So lucky enough, I got most of those are on the ESPN app. I got a couple on the Sleeper app. So I got it narrowed down to 2 different apps. So that hopefully should put me in the right direction.
Okay.
Hey, you think you'll jump back into fantasy footballing with us next year, though? Yeah.
I don't know.
You telling me you don't miss it? You don't miss it at all?
No.
Not at all?
It's too much.
What you mean?
It's just too much. Because, I'm watching Bucks. I ain't going to watch no other game. I can't watch no other game.
Well, you ain't got to watch the other games. You just let it ride. Like, you know what? To be honest, like, my stress level was a lot cooler when I wasn't watching all the other games. Because at that time, I remember when I first started playing fantasy football, it was watch the games, looking at the scores. And that was before they had apps. I'm dating myself. You had to be on the internet to see your score updates. So what I started doing, and I got this from an old wise fantasy footballer. He was like, look, man, I set my roster. I go to my lake house, go work on my lake house. I listen to some games on the radio. And when it's all said and done, I may check to see if my team's won. And I feel like going about it that way is a lot easier on your soul. So what I'll do on here, I'll be in here food prepping. I have games on TV. I'll be looking at stats. I'm like, oh, okay, this dude balling out of control, yada, yada, yada. And then when it's all said and done, I go look at the score at the end of the day. And it seems like it gives me a lot more peace like that. So
fantasy not good for me because when the Bucks lose, I don't want nothing else to do with football for that week till next Sunday. So I don't set no rosters or nothing like that. So I'm gonna have the same roster for the whole year. It's just wasting money.
See, I feel
teams be like 1-12, 1-13. You look up and win one game.
I feel like because it looked like my Saints are obviously gonna be sad. Shout out to Rattler, Tom. See, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. But I feel like at least if my real team lose, I at least try to get some get back with my fantasy football team. So I feel like I kind of win.
Football when the Bucks lose. I don't want to watch no highlights.
Nothing.
Straight Fred Sanford all week.
Oh man. Speaking of the Saints, man. So a lot of things going on in fantasy football that's gonna have an impact on a lot of rosters, man. As you all may know, Spencer Rattler has been declared the starter of the Saints. And Cam, I wanted to get your take on this as to how you think that particular starting quarterback is going to impact the fantasy production of those Saints. You got Alvin Kamara, you got Chris Olave, you got Rashid Shaheed. Like, do you think the stock of these guys go up or down with
naturally down? Well, no, I think it's level. It stays the same because you don't know what you're getting from the coaching aspect.
True.
You got an offensive minded coach, so you don't know what he's gonna bring to the table.
Yeah.
You might have a high powered offense and just no defense. It could swing the pendulum like that for y'all now. Instead of having just a defensive team and an offense that could just barely do anything. So you just don't know what you're going to get from a fantasy aspect from the Saints this year.
Yeah, I did manage to pick up Alvin Kamara in a few drafts. I got Chris Olave in one of them, but just kind of later in the rounds, just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah, it works out. So look, even though I am down bad on my Saints, man, I still recognize good talent, and there's always hope that they're gonna do something, man. But right now, I don't know.
See it?
I don't know.
I think you're just mad because they didn't get Shador.
I'm still mad about that too. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm still mad about that, man.
He gonna be available. Y'all can get him off the waiver wire. Did Cleveland did he make the 53?
I think he did. I think it's not official yet, but they listed him as a third quarterback, so that makes me feel like he does make the 53.
53's been turned in already. You already got to cut.
Yeah, so you hadn't heard any news about him getting cut, so I think he is officially on. So I'm gonna monitor that, especially in my keeper leagues. Keep your eye on that Shador Sanders, man. But overall, we did want to say shout out to everybody that did make it out for the live draft with the Fantasy Football Podcast. We appreciate you. Shout out to my girl Africa, man. Africa held it down. She was in Eastern time, so she was there like an hour later than everybody else. They had to get up and go to work, so she toughed it out.
She only about year 7, ain't she?
This league has only been around. This is year 4 for this league.
Well, this the first time you started dealing with it was in this league?
Yeah. This is the first time that she jumped in to play fantasy football. I know she's always been a football fan. But then she wanted to go ahead and get in the mix with the fantasy football. So
shout out to Africa.
Yeah, Africa held it down, man. So for her to do that, I guess give Guru his props for playing Madden. My man Travis showed up. James showed up. My boy Rodney Brock tried to show up. His audio wasn't working correctly.
Okay,
my man Roland was drafting from a family dinner, so he couldn't jump in there with us per se, but he did go in there and continue his draft, man. I got to send an apology out to my man, Derek Peters. We started recording and drafting by the time I got your message. Hey, I messed up. I sent the link to your Facebook and you were trying to get me to send it somewhere else. My fault, man. We're going to get it right next time. But just like that, man, we're going to take us a quick commercial break. And when we get back, we're going to talk about what went down in the auction drafts and get into the mix of things, man. It's almost kickoff time. This is the Backyard Ballers Fantasy Football Podcast with your boy, Dimitri.
Your boy, and Cam V, handy man.
Be back in a minute. Man, and like I was talking about before the break, man, I felt like I had some real good luck during these fantasy drafts, man. I saw some crazy things happen. The wildest thing I did see happen for me is somehow, some way, in the middle of one of these drafts, I ended up with a situation where people were avoiding taking Jalen Hurts, and he fell right in my lap to complete my team. Yeah. You know, I'm not really high on drafting quarterbacks early, so I tend to just kind of deal with what's left after everybody goes on that quarterback spree. But for some reason, everybody seemed like they wanted no parts. I don't know if we just had a whole bunch of Cowboy fans in there. Fans in there, folks bitter from that man winning the Super Bowl the year before. But yeah, I really lucked out and ended up getting Jalen Hurts on the team. I was impressed with that.
Do you consider him a top 10?
I do. I think, like, especially in fantasy league, with the fact that, you know, he gets you so many short yard touchdowns, you know, in addition to what he throws with touchdowns and his ability to be athletic, run the football, throw the football. I think it's a great option, especially with the circumstances that I was dealing with. I think he really was like a big fat double cherry on the top of the cake of this team that I built. So I was really happy about doing that. The one thing that did surprise me in a lot of leagues is the stock of number 2 wide receivers. And I know, like, in Cincinnati, they say they got a 1 and a 1A. I was really interested in the number of times I saw T. Higgins going really, really high. And I've always been against being a guy that would take somebody's number 2 super, super early. So you saw that with T. Higgins. You saw that situation with Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. You saw it also with Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp. So you saw it a lot of times with them. I think there was one situation where I was willing to take that risk, and we talked about that a few weeks ago. Was the Puka Nacua Devontae Adams situation. I like Devontae Adams and the situation he has with the Rams. So if I did pick any 1A type guy, I feel like Devontae Adams is going to be the one. So I almost called that man Raheem Devon. My bad, Devontae. You know I ain't mean about that. But yeah. So that was kind of interesting with people doing that. Rookie running backs, and everybody's really high on Ashton Genty. Like, Ashton Genty went high in a consistent way. People were really high on Ashton Genty, not just James. It was like a lot of people wanted Ashton Genty.
Really?
Yeah. So people feel like that dude's gonna blow. And then, of course, some of the young dudes that are playing running back and with the Patriots now, was named Travion Henderson. He went at a decent click. I forgot the other young dude's name that's gonna be playing for Denver. I forgot his name. I want to say it was CJ. You know who I'm talking about, don't you? Yeah.
Boy from Central Florida.
Yeah. The kid from Central Florida. So.
Harvey.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Harvey.
There you go. Was it CJ Harvey?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
RJ Harvey.
RJ Harvey. Thank you. Yeah. So RJ Harvey, yeah, he went, a lot earlier than I thought he would. If I do feel like I did have a disadvantage, it was not spending enough time doing a lot of the background checks on players like that. I used to be in tune with guys like that. Life has evolved to where I don't have nearly as much time.
That's why I asked you what I asked you earlier about. Yeah. Is it like becoming like a job for you to do this?
Well, I think back in the day you just had more leisure time to sit around and watch random videos and look up highlights. Now you got to go play catch with your kids and you got other stuff you got to do. So I just don't get to dive into the research as much as I used to. And at the same time that was fun. But then to your point, when you got to do that on top of other things that you have to do, then it will start feeling like work, man. But so I did fudge in. I was going to talk to you about this when we came back to this segment. Man, my boy Arthur P. Shout out to my man Arthur P. out there. Talked me into doing an auction style fantasy draft. We did it last night. It was interesting, man. The thing that really captured my attention about this is, typically when you're in like a snake draft, you are picking at a spot, you make your pick. There's certain dudes that ain't gonna be yours, just because they're gonna be too far away. You hope they come back to you, but then they may not. In this case, you had a shot at everybody. So you don't pick. You basically nominate somebody, and you guys go into like this wild auction, bidding dollars, for the person. So when you nominate a person, people have like 10 seconds to do a counter bid. They counter bid, then it's another 10 seconds for somebody else to chime in. So then you see the button start going crazy with people driving the numbers up. And when you feel like you've had enough, you just kind of bow out, and that person wins that person. So the thing that I did like about it is, Art was right. You could build a team that really is yours. Like if you want to get Jamar Chase, if you want to spend a certain amount of money, like you can get him, but you got to also figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your money, on the back end when you start trying to fulfill the rest of your roster. And I think that's the thing that I was kind of learning. Like you have to have a little bit of a different mentality, because the way I went into this auction draft, it was having enough dollars to adequately fill my roster. Because when it was all said and done, I finished and I had $4 left out of the 200, and I completely filled my roster. But the thing that I really felt like I shortchanged myself on is whenever it was time to wheel and deal for some of the bigger names, like the bigger name running backs, I was a little bit hesitant to get into the fight because I was concerned about spending too much money and not having enough to fulfill the rest of the team with quality players. But then once you get to the end of the draft, it was interesting to see how you could pay attention to other people's max bid capability, because they didn't have enough dollars left. Because what they would do is you were obligated to spend at least $1 on a person to fill your roster. So
that's the lowest you can bid is $1.
Yeah, the lowest you can bid is $1. So if you got to a point to where you needed to fill your roster, it would hold $1 in account for the spots that you still need to fill. So they would take that number away from your total, and then that would be your max bidding power. So you have to learn how to play the game, see what other people's bidding power was, and at the same time kind of see where you land, and hope that you run out of money late. So then you can kind of control the board and manipulate who gets who. So if I had a chance to do it again, I would do it. I feel like I left a lot of money on the table when it came to running backs, because it was all said and done. I had two really good. I think I got Nico Collins and A.J. Brown at wide receiver. I ended up getting Lamar Jackson at quarterback. I ended up getting, who did I get? I got David Montgomery and Aaron Jones as my starting running backs. It's not bad, but like everybody else had the Derrick Henrys, the Jahmyr Gibbs, like, and they paid big money for them. I was just trying to bow out of that fight because I was like, man, I need some money to save the rest of the team. But I just didn't understand how it all worked on the tail end, because as people's buying power go down, you can still get quality players for a lower price because people just don't have that much money to bid on them. So I did find out that it was two things that happened funny in the draft as I started to try to get in there and play the game, because sometimes people would bump up the prices just so you wouldn't get over easy getting somebody for a cheap price. So I started to get a little hesitant. Well, I started to panic is what I started to do. As the numbers are running up and people are getting different people, Lamar Jackson comes up and I'm like, man, I got to get into this because I at least got to get a quality player. I got into a bidding war for Lamar Jackson. I paid like $29 for him, and it didn't sound bad, but he ended up being the most expensive quarterback taken in the draft. And I think when you are doing an auction, that's not a situation you want to be in. You don't want to be paying the highest amount for the best quality guy. You only want to do it a few times. And it seems like the place that I should have done that was probably somewhere around running back and not quarterback, because somebody turned around and got Joe Burrow for like $20, and then they got other really good quarterbacks for like $10.
So 10%, that was the most you seen spent on a player, 10% of your allotted salary?
No. James spent $58 on Jamar Chase. So he spent a big chunk of his money, at that time.
One player.
Yeah. Some people, I want to say somebody spent like $40 on Josh Jacobs. Derrick Henry went for about $40. Like guys like that went. But the thing about it is the people that knew how to manipulate the auction didn't lose out on getting quality players on the back end just because they didn't have enough money. So I was afraid that I would miss out on that. And it eventually worked out. I still got quality players and I got depth, but I could have improved certain positions if I was a little bit more gutsy on the bidding process on the front end. So it's kind of neat. Like there's some manipulation things you can do. I got manipulated once because somebody nominated Bo Nix, and then they were gonna get him for like dirt cheap, and I already had 2 quarterbacks. So I put a bid in for Bo Nix just to not let them get him. And everybody left me out there high and dry. So I ended up with a 3rd quarterback and didn't need it. So I wasted like $6 or $7 on Bo Nix.
Trying to drive the price
Trying to drive the price up, yeah. So so I got like that. James got trying to get me because he had already had a tight end. And George Kittle was up there. And I was like, once again, trying to get in the hunt, getting a quality player. So I bid for Kittle. Somebody else bids. I bid again. Somebody else bids. I bid again. James bids. I bid again. He bids. I bid again. He bids. I'm like, you know what? It's not that important. So I stuck him with an extra tight end, but he didn't really need to spend that much money on one. Mm-hmm. So he got stuck trying to stop me from getting George Kittle. I mean, it will still work out for him because he can use him like a flex player. But my situation was worse with the 3rd quarterback because, I mean, you're not going to use that dude. So Bo Nix is trade. But if you want to trade for Bo Nix, holler at me, man.
Who did you end up with as your tight end?
Mark Andrews. I got Mark Andrews for a decent price. Yeah, it's not bad at all. So, yeah, I think it worked out fine for me when it came to that. So he kind of drove himself off a cliff that way. I drove myself off a cliff for that 3rd quarterback. I didn't pay a whole bunch for him, but I could have used that $8 or $9 on something else and got better quality. So
especially a 3rd quarterback, you got to let one of them go.
Yeah, I probably trade him or something like that. Especially if he's doing good, then you can at least have him for trade bait. But overall, it was pretty cool. I would do it again. I would like to. I'm interested in doing it again because it made the draft fun. It was action packed. It lasted 2 hours, but you were busy in those 2 hours. It's not like a snake draft to where you would just be sitting there and not doing anything. You'd be in there willing and dealing. Every once in a while you have a dude you didn't want on your team, and you just don't pay attention to that, or you may just play around and make the number go up for somebody that's trying to get over. But you had to be careful because if you did that a little bit too much, you'd be stuck with somebody you didn't want. So yeah, there's an art to it. It's bumped up my curiosity a little bit because I think it makes you. It almost adds like I guess you would say like a poker aspect to fantasy football drafting, and I think that's why people like it.
How long has it been around?
I've heard of auctions for a long time, but now I think like the digital world and the apps makes it so much easier because all the calculation stuff is going on for you. It's so much easier to keep up with. Because even if you think about like the snake drafts we used to do, man, we used to get the big board. We would go to Hooters and we were writing all the names in.
And drafting that long?
Yeah,
we had to do everything manually.
Yeah, I mean, but we still had the internet, but you had to do it manually, and then we just log it all, into the web page. And then everybody could tap in. I think it was more people being interested in physically being there. So then that way you just go log it. And then people started getting to where they would bring their laptops and meet up at a bar and draft that way. And then people started moving around, and then they're all across the country. So then you had to do everything remotely. Okay. But when it came to the auctions, like the math was always kind of funny. So they finally got softwares that can do it in a real convenient way, and people can have it on their phones. So I think that makes it a lot more.
You can walk around with it in your hand.
Pretty much. Hey, so if you haven't considered it yet, just like we talked about in our very first episode, give auction drafts a try. I've tried it. I've learned. I don't think I necessarily dominated the draft at all, but I ended up with a decent team, and it's really got me wanting some more. So if you want some more details on that, be sure to hit us up. We may bring my boy Arthur P on again one time to talk about that thing. He got it down to a science. I was impressed with the way he built this team. So he did a good job.
Go ahead, Art.
But this is what we're going to do. We're going to take us a quick commercial break. And you know what time it is, Aunt Kim. Finally, it's time for the very first set of Ballers and Bustas, man. So y'all better get ready. Stay tuned. It's about to go down. This is the Backyard Ballers Fantasy Football Podcast with your boy Dimitri.
And your boy Aunt Cam, the handy man.
Be back in a minute. All right, folks, we are back, man. And your boy Aunt Kim did point out during the commercial break that I actually called it episode 5, man. We in the middle of episode 4. I A little bit ahead of myself. My bad, man. Players mess up from time to time.
You're excited about what's going on.
Yeah.
It's that time of the year.
Yeah.
This is sportsman paradise right here.
It is, man. Like one thing that this week, like Labor Day week, reminds me of, man. It's when it get cool outside.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that grass we had in Louisiana. You could go out there and that grass be nice and cool, and it was football season. There was an energy around it.
In the air.
You could smell it in the air. And it was gonna be like, cause especially when you were involved in like high school, because you'll go to a game Friday. You'll watch college on you go watch college on Saturday, and then you had the NFL on Sunday. So we finna go football crazy this week, man.
Oh man, OD.
So what do you, besides the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what are you looking forward to, man?
Okay, one thing I'm looking forward to for this season is to see what this rookie class is going to do. I'm excited about the rookie class for this year.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a lot of Hall of Famers coming out of this class because they slept on the class saying it was going to be kind of weak. I think there's some people that's going to stand up. That's going to shock a lot of people.
That would be interesting, man. I'm curious about NFL wise. You know I'm crunk about them Tigers, though. We ain't even talk about that, man. Shout out to the LSU Tigers for putting that thump to them on Clemson.
That's how you feel?
Right. Yeah, man.
Oh, you viewed it live and living color too, huh?
Oh, it was a great trip, man. Hey, shout out to the people of Greenville, South Carolina, Clemson, South Carolina. Folks showed us a good time, man. They were real friendly. Hey, I will say, Clemson fans, they can get it crunk. Like if you ever go up there, man, they rowdy, they loud, they had a good time. We hate that you had to take that L, man, but hey,
I don't hate it. I love it.
Like somebody had to take it, though.
But
them Tigers look good, though, so I'm excited about them. But on a professional level, with NFL sports, I am interested in seeing how the Chiefs will reinvent themselves, especially with the way that they got thumped in the Super Bowl. I'm interested to see the evolution of some of these other divisions. Like, what is the NFC South going to look like right now? What is the NFC East going to look like right now? You know, with the rise of Jaden Daniels, you know, you got the Cowboys doing their thing. I'm really curious on what the West Coast is going to do. You know, with all, there's so many switch arounds that's happening. Are the Raiders going to be anything? Devontae Adams with the Rams. Like, what are the Chargers going to do? Like, there's a lot of questions that I need to get answered right now. Yeah, like,
well, it ain't Kansas City is going to run the West.
They are the heir apparent, but can anybody else go in there and take the Chiefs' kingdom away from them?
I watched the Chargers. The Chargers gave them fits last year. Yeah. You would think they got better being another year in the system. Let's see what the Chargers will do. Yeah, you know, and then the Ravens are back. Like, they don't have enough firepower to get over Josh Allen out of that AFC. They whooped Josh Allen. They just can't get past Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes is the hurdle, though. Yeah.
Would this be the year they finally not get over that hump and get to the bowl?
We'll see.
Mahomes.
I mean, but then you got to deal with, well, will the Bengals have enough to keep themselves up? I want to see what Aaron Rodgers is going to do.
Ooh, that's an interesting storyline.
Like, will Aaron Rodgers go out there and ball out of control?
Or is Aaron Rodgers just done? He just sticking around.
We'll see, man. You never know, man. But hey,
I'm interested to see Caleb Williams. Okay. And Justin Fields.
As what they'll do with the Jets and the Bears.
I believe in Caleb Williams this year. I think with him getting Ben Johnson, I think it's gonna make a difference for him this year.
And what about Bryce Young? I'm curious about Bryce Young in Carolina. Like, I feel like that dude is going to be much better than what people give him credit for. People are hype about this Teotera McMillan. And I guess the combination was able to get because they ended up letting Adam Thielen go back to the Vikings. They was like, you can go ahead. So they must have something over there that they like. They didn't mind moving it. Yeah, we definitely going to see. But you know what else we about to see, man? For the first time this year, it's about to go down.
On video.
It is the Ballers and the Bustas. That's right. And if this is your first time tuning in for this, what we do is we give you fantasy football advice about who you should sit and who you should start in your fantasy football lineup. The guys that we talking about starting, obviously are called ballers. We talking about putting somebody on the bench, that's what we call a buster, plain and simple. So stay tuned, lock in, and get ready to learn something, my friend. And the way we like to do it is we like to challenge ourselves. Like, look, we know you're going to start Joe Burrow. We know we're going to start Josh Allen. It's obvious. And we may be able to play it a little bit safe since it is week 1, but we want to make sure that we give you guys some nuggets that you didn't see coming, and hopefully they work out for you. So stay tuned. Aunt Cam, it's about to go down. Let's get into the mix with baller quarterbacks. And I just, you know what, before I get a little bit ahead of myself, let's talk about what we got on tap right here, man. You want to read this schedule that we got for the NFL season?
Okay, on Thursday night, we're going to open the season with an old NFC East rivalry. The Dallas Cowboys will try to take down the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. Then on Friday, this is a new twist that NFL's added.
Yeah.
We got a Friday night game.
Friday game.
I guess high schools are going to be upset, but you got the Chiefs versus the Chargers.
Oh, that's the Brazil game. Okay, they're going to do it in Sao Paulo.
Okay, yeah, that is in Brazil.
All
yes.
right. Hey.
And then Sunday, our traditional Sundays.
Okay.
We're going to start the season off with those Arizona Cardinals versus the New Orleans Saints with a 12 o'clock kickoff. Then you have the Dolphins of Miami versus the Colts of Indianapolis with a 12 o'clock kickoff. Then you have the Raiders of Las Vegas, no longer Los Angeles, against the New England Patriots.
Say that so bad.
And then you have the Pittsburgh Steelers, your guy Aaron Rodgers, taking on my guy Justin Fields.
Look, toe.
with the New York Jets. And you have the New York Giants versus the Commanders of the NFC East. They battle each other.
They're going toe to toe, yeah.
Oh, they got that out the way earlier. Then you have the North Carolina Panthers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. You have a nice rivalry going on week 1 again. The Cincinnati Bengals versus Cleveland. Those are always exciting games. Then you have another NFC South matchup. Probably would be for first place. Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons. San Francisco 49ers versus the Seahawks. That's another rivalry game. The Tennessee Titans versus the Broncos. The Detroit Lions versus the Packers. Another rivalry game.
Okay.
The Houston Texans versus the LA Rams. That's going to be a pretty good matchup.
Yeah.
That might be the matchup of the weekend.
No. This one right here. Ooh, okay.
You got the Baltimore Ravens versus the Buffalo Bills,
That's
which is the rematch of the NFC. It was an NFC playoff game. It wasn't a championship game.
I think second round.
Yeah. Then you have the Minnesota Vikings. We'll close it out on Monday night with the Minnesota Vikings versus the Chicago Bears.
You know, I miss when they used to do like the 2 Monday night games. I used to like that a lot.
I think, I see they flipped one of the games to Friday. I don't think you should mess with Friday night.
Yeah, Friday belongs to high school football.
That's high school football. That's the beginning of the season too. It's gonna be hard for them to peel them people off of a Friday night game.
Yeah, we'll
But
see.
we'll see what they do though. It
All
is
right.
NFL.
Here we go, boys. Ballers and Busters. We finna get into the list of baller quarterbacks. I'm gonna tap in right now, Cam, and I'm gonna say this: be on the lookout for a spectacular game from the old man himself, Aaron Rodgers versus the Jets. And I think this is gonna be a good game for him, being that he's playing against his old team.
Okay.
He gonna show him like, hey,
I didn't even think about
like
that.
y'all messed over me when I was over there. Y'all ain't giving me a shot to do my thing. Ran me and my man up out of there. Payback right here. Aaron Rodgers, look out for him to be a baller this week. Aunt Cam, who do you got at baller quarterback?
My baller quarterback this week is going to be Caleb Williams.
All right.
Of the Chicago Bears on Monday night versus the Minnesota Vikings.
So you think he's gonna jump out there and show the world, huh?
Yes, I think the addition of Ben Johnson is gonna make a different quarterback.
Okay, we're gonna see. Baller running backs, man. For me, I'm gonna go with my guy Chase Brown from the from the Cleveland Browns versus the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Yeah, so Chase Brown of the Cincinnati Bengals to go out there to have a solid fantasy football day, I guess, in the Browns. Well, versus the Browns in a rivalry matchup. A slept-on running back that he's risen to a top spot. He's considered to be like a mediocre tier fantasy player. Watch for him to blow up this week. And Cam, who do you got at your baller running back?
I like with the addition of Justin Fields, I like Breece Hall to break out this week against those Steelers.
Okay.
With the threat of that quarterback can get out there and run, you're going to have to play him a little bit different. So I like Breece Hall right here. He already a hard runner anyway.
Yeah, he run tough. Versus them Steelers.
Give
All
me
right.
Breece Hall.
Baller wide receivers, man. My baller wide receiver this week. We got a lot going on in this game, man. I didn't realize we was that biased to it, but I like DK Metcalf this week versus those New York Jets, man. I feel like DK Metcalf in a new place with a veteran quarterback throwing to him is going to be a nice little combination. You know, Aaron Rodgers like those big receivers anyway, so this is going to work out well for him. This is probably going to be his biggest, strongest receiver. I think out of all the ones he's had over time, this is going to be the biggest one he's had.
Even better than Devontae, bigger than Devontae.
He's bigger than Devontae Adams. I can vouch for that for sure. Yeah. So be on the lookout. DK Metcalf the ball this week. Aunt Cam, who do you have at your baller wide receiver?
Y'all gonna say I'm being biased, but I think the way he ended closing last season out, barely getting 1,000 yards, keeping the streaks alive, makes him want it early this year. So I like Mike Evans.
Okay.
To go off against those Atlanta Falcons. He wants that 1,000. He wants that 1,000 yards by week 10, 11 this year.
It'd be nice
12,
if he can 13.
do it. He don't want to be struggling at the end of the season to get it.
So right now the record is he is outright consecutive 1,000 yards. It's tied. Him and Jerry Rice.
They both got 11.
Okay, so
he's trying to become the single up there by himself.
Okay, so he's gonna make that push. All right, baller tight ends. My baller tight end this week is your boy Mark Andrews versus those Buffalo Bills. He needs some redemption right now. If you remember that in that playoff game last year, he dropped 2 key passes that would have kept the Ravens in that game. Mark Andrews is out there to show the world that you can't sleep on him. He about to handle this business, boy. All right, baller tight end and Cam, who you got?
I got T. Warren, the rookie from Indiana.
Okay.
The first rookie to make my list is T. Warren.
All right, I like that. Like young rookie coming out there. You think gonna be the next Jeremy Shockey? What you think?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be the next your boy from Las Vegas last year. I want to say.
Oh, you talking about Brock Bowers? Yeah,
Brock Bowers. I think gonna be a Bowers.
Okay,
he gonna threaten them records.
All right, well we gonna see that. All right, baller defenses. And this week, ironically, I like the Denver Broncos versus the Tennessee Titans. I'm not 100% sold on what's my man's name?
Cam Ward.
Yeah. I'm not sold on Cam Ward coming out there and just being a studly star. I feel like Sean Payton is gonna get his DC. Who is that? That's Vance Joseph out there. That's DC for him, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Vance Joseph gonna go out there and do his thing and sick them dogs on that boy, man. It's Bronco time.
I can see that.
Go for it, Aunt Cam. Who you got your baller defense?
Man, I'm staying at home. Tampa Bay, we finna put something on Michael Penix. You got to get it, boy. We're gonna put it on you, boy.
He said Falcons be well.
Don't run my weight in.
All right, folks. That was our balls, and now it's time for the busters, man. And when we call these guys out, look, we know that week 1 you want to start everybody, and that's fine. But we just letting you know that you better beware and expect a drop off in production. We're not saying that you don't. We're not saying that you have to bench these people, but if you start them and there's a drop off in production, don't say that we didn't tell you, man. Let's get right into it. And I'm going for Buster quarterbacks. We seem to have a disagreement on things because I feel that Caleb Williams may struggle against those Minnesota Vikings. So that's my take right there.
We're going to see on that one.
Yeah, we're going to see. We're going head to head to say who's going to get what. Aunt Cam, who is your Buster quarterback?
Hey, my Buster quarterback is going to be Michael Penix with the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
None of y'all hearing in the offseason getting hyped about this offense can do that. Bijan Robinson this, Bijan Robinson that. Michael Penix. Put him in the books. We're going to shut him down.
You know what? Hey, great minds think alike, man, because as we roll over to Buster running backs, my thought is Bijan Robinson to struggle against those Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. So, look, I do have an additional running back if you don't mind throwing this in.
Go ahead.
Okay, I got James Cooks versus the Ravens. I feel like he may need to have a seat as well. Aunt Cam, who is your Buster running back?
I'm going to go with Ashley Jennings right off the top, man. I heard you say a lot of people was hyped up on him and all this and that. I got Ashley Jennings busted week 1.
I agree with you. That is a solid pick right there. Buster wide receivers, man. And my pick this time is going to be one of these dudes from this 1 and 1A situation. We didn't talk about him earlier, but I'm going to mention today. And I'm going to say that you should bench George Pickens this week. I simply think that it's going to be a little minute before he transitions into being a strong force within the Cowboys offense, or if he's going to be a strong force at all. But I would say he would be on the wait-and-see list for me. So right now I'm saying bench George Pickens versus those Philadelphia Eagles. Aunt Cam, who is your Buster wide receiver?
Man, I hate to do this to the homeboy, man, because I love him to death. But Jets, man, I think the Chicago cornerback, one of the top 3 cornerbacks in the league, I think he's going to put the clamps on Jets.
So you telling them to sit down Justin Jefferson?
Sit down Justin Jefferson.
One of the top prospects of the draft. Okay, yes, sit him down, man. All right. You heard
going out on a limb.
You sure is. Here we go. Buster tight ends. Man, my favorite subject. And who else would I name? Who else would I name?
You can't do that man like that, man.
Put Kyle Pitts on the bench. Until he can show you something. And I got him in the league, too. I drafted him. Kyle Pitts on the bench. I done said what I said. Aunt Cam, who is your Buster tight end?
I don't know if this is really fair or not, because he might have been like done fell off the map now fantasy wise. But I'm gonna say Travis Kelce.
Okay.
I think his reign of supreme is all she wrote. I think he's finna be yesterday news. What you're doing with your podcast, you done got engaged. There's just too much stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on
at the beginning of the season. Plus, they always start off slow anyway. So I'm gonna say sit down, Travis Kelce.
Man, he ain't got the fade no more or anything, man.
See, look at that.
He done turned to flip the script. He playing in movies and the Happy Gilmore. He say he done with it, man.
He done with it. You doing too much.
Buster defenses, man. For me, I'm gonna say that this week you should sit down the Seattle Seahawks defense versus the San Francisco 49ers. And the main reason I would say that is because right now, you don't know what you're going to get with that 49ers offense. You know that Kyle Shanahan always has something genius. And Cam, I am a firm believer that those guys got Brian Robinson Jr. strictly so they could modify what they do with Christian McCaffrey and play him while they Deebo Samuel and let Brian Robinson Jr. be the hammer all the time. So just because them dudes ain't got no wide receivers don't mean that they ain't got no plan. So I think it is a setup for the Seattle Seahawks. Beware, find somebody else to start. And Cam, close this thing out for us, big dog. Who is your Buster defense?
I know we're hearing a lot about the Houston, Texas defense this year. You got Daniel Hunter coming off one end.
Okay.
And you got the Alabama boy. I don't want to say his name.
Okay.
He on the coming off the other end.
Yeah.
I know his name's Will Anderson. But,
Yeah.
I'm coming off the other end. But I think the Rams offensive guru gonna work that defense over.
Okay.
In week 1.
Sean McVay. Look at that. All right. I like that pick though.
I like the Texas defense. I think they're gonna be good this season, but I think week 1 they're gonna bet up a little bit more than they can chew.
Okay, you heard that, man. And just like that, that is a wrap, man. So hey, shout out to everybody that's been holding it down with us for these 7 seasons. We appreciate you guys so much. It is finally time for kickoff. We hope that this information elevates your game. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Good luck in this first week, man. Signing off for the Backyard Ballers Fantasy Football Podcast. It is your boy Dimitri.
And your boy, Aunt Cam, the handy man.
Hey, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel and this video. Follow us now on all podcast platforms, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Libsyn, and now on YouTube. Peace out, folks, and we'll see you guys next time.
Shout out to my boy, Corey Bradshaw.
Oh, yeah, for real. Yeah, Corey, we appreciate you holding it down for us, man. We'll see y'all next week. Yeah.
Yes, sir.